Hey guys, today on Rocket Punch, we're gonna take a look at JP Coovert's Dragontown, fresh off the Kickstarter presses. And if you don't know who JP Coovert is, you need to go YouTube him right now. Well, wait a minute, not right now. First watch my video and then go check out JP. He's really cool.
All right, guys, there are three main creators that I credit for getting me back into TTRPGs. One of those is, of course, my buddy DM Wisdom over at Agranac Studios. There's the professor over at Dungeon Craft, and one of my favorites. Well, I like them all, but one of my favorites is JP Coovert. He is such a great positive influence in the community. I am totally not a fan of people just hating on crap. I'm too old for that. I don't want to hear that. I want to enjoy my hobby. I want to talk about what I like about it. I mean, it's fine once in a while, but I want to focus on what I like doing. I get enough stuff I hate doing at work. So let's focus with JP Coovert on what's positive and cool. Go check him out. Go check out all my buddies. But Dragontown, this is awesome. So JP, if you are on his Patreon, which I am, he releases zines every month. And he's done all kinds of zines. How to make dungeons, how to make maps, how to draw cool characters, how to draw, make adventures, and even did stuff like Tunneling Trolls, where he did a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He's done like a Ghostbusters thing. And he's actually going to come out with a new thing to run Dragontown, because this is actually system neutral, like all his stuff. But yeah, he just said last week that he's going to make a system specifically to run this now. But let's get to the chase. Let's get on. What is Dragontown? So Dragontown and The Darkness Below is a lot of his zines all kind of combined, and he redid the structure of some of them to make like one giant kind of campaign. So yeah, this is really cool. So I don't know. So just to have a little tidbit of information. So Dragontown and The Darkness Below is a whimsical system-neutral adventure for use with your favorite fantasy tabletop role-playing game, a resource to run an exciting campaign length, quest, or pull out individual chapters for unique one-shot experiences filled with wacky characters, playful magic items, creative encounters, lots of hand-drawn maps, and plenty of adventure. Yes, this thing is chock-a-block full of this kind of fun kind of art. So it's really cool because it's very fun and has a lot of zany character, but it is dangerous. It's still dangerous, which is kind of what I like about OSR. You can kind of have that zaniness, that gonzo-ness, but it's also not, and it can be cartoony, but it's cartoony still with consequences. There's going to be death, there's going to be dismemberment, there's going to be blood and gore, especially if it's playing in my game. So let's take a look at Dragontown. So this is the map of the first part of the book, which is Dragontown. And it kind of goes in, and what's cool about JP, as he is a cartoonist or a graphic design, graphic artist, he's drawn like this explanation kind of comic of Dragontown and The Darkness Below. So it's really cool. It gives you this background, and it tells you all about the characters and kind of the setting before your characters arrive. In the table of contents, it has all of these adventures. There's 12 total adventures, which you can play as the campaign. You can play individually, throw it in. This is how he kind of made it into this campaign. So he connected all these independent adventures that he originally had. Talks about using the guide. And one of the things to make it system neutral that I really like is how he did monsters. So that way you don't need monster stats in here. They're kind of like monster stats? I don't know. They're monster something. They're, instead of detailed stats, they're just 4 keywords. You got health, speed, armor, and damage. So by just a quick look at this, you can determine, like, for example, the ogre, he has 3 in health, 1 in speed, 2 armor, and 3 damage. And you don't need all the details and stuff. You can imagine, you can quickly add that into any system, armor class or whatever you're going to use, just based on that. You can figure that out. And it gives a couple of his attacks here. So that I really dig. I also dig how he does item pricing. So he's like, I don't want to do gold and things like that. So in the shops, they have the same kind of system, 1 to 4. So 1 is it's super affordable, like anyone could kind of grab it. 2, items are affordable, but there might not be a lot of it, single item, and so on and so forth. And that's all the guide for that. That's all you need. And you start with Dragontown. So first off, it's a very sandboxy adventure. So for if you're doing a campaign or for this, you also have some adventure hooks. So you're going to have this kind of nice setting. You're going to have some random encounters, map, and then an adventure or adventure hooks, like if you're using this independently. And then you have a whole bunch of friendly faces. This is also kind of a Westward Marches kind of portion. So Dragontown can be kind of your center point where you go out and come back, go out and come back. And he has all these just crazy characters in here. So you got these magic apple farms. You got this sundries market. And I like this part. He kind of puts in these little blurbs about the characters. So this is really cool. I like this. So Quinn has a different outlandish story about how she lost her eye every time she's asked. So that kind of fun stuff is in here. She's got what's for sale. You got some other towns. You got some other stuff around the town. You got the smithy. You got the temple. You got the bakery for your hobbits. You got your pub. You got some other stuff in here. You got like your first little things like slimes start appearing in the streets. And that's kind of like one of your first adventures. You got Grandpa's farm. And he has these goat creatures that are bothering him. You got the alley cats. So you can kind of do some city adventure there, or slight city. It's kind of a small town. You got this bee person. You got this awesome cemetery with this isometric map. I really like that map. And if you go to JP's channel, as he's doing these one at a time, you can see basically a video on each one of these. So that's pretty cool how he had all this already done and then came back and turned it into like a giant book. You got all this great art. So then after you do all the stuff in Dragontown, then you can go to the you can go to the castle. And then there's this big sledge behemoth there. You got all this stuff. So this is very much a loot-based system. So it's really great for systems that aren't focused on like leveling and that kind of thing. So like classes and class abilities and that kind of stuff. It's very, classic in that way of just kind of going on these cool adventures. So I struggled for a long time trying to figure out what I was going to run this with. I was originally like, maybe I'm going to run Shadow Dark, which reminds me, as one of the Kickstarter bonuses, there's going to be a Shadow Dark version of this. But and I don't have that yet. So I have this, and I thought of Shadow Dark. I thought of Dragonbane. But ultimately, I am going with my buddy's game, Grit Fantasy. So Grit Fantasy also kind of has that cartoony vibe, lots of strange characters, and this is a very much loot-based system, so you don't have to worry about levels. So I'm totally going to use Grit with this. I also like how Grit monsters work, so it kind of works very well with JP's system of the 4 stats. So this also has stats, so you got like stats for mooks, goons, and bosses. So based on the circles there, you can easily kind of assign what they might be. So it's also very loose. So yeah, I'm going to go with Grit Fantasy. If you don't have Grit Fantasy, go get it. Go get it. But if you don't have it, another one I could recommend, I think Easy D6 would also be really great for this because it's also a very loot-based system and very quick and easy. So I really recommend those 2 systems if you're going to do it. But if you're smart like me, you're going to go get Grit Fantasy and you're going to go play this. So yeah, I'm going to try that out, and there will be a play report at some time when we get back to fantasy games. But back to the book, you got this cool ribbon, of course. And then you have the next kind of chapter, the Windsong Wood. So this is a nice kind of hex crawl. And you have all these different areas to locate. And you have a corrupted pig. So it's all this corruption. So that's kind of cool. A corrupted forest. You have the Shadespeare Mountain Adventures. So it's all going through these mountains. And you can just see how awesome. I love this art. Of course, I love that skeleton because I love skeleton bobs. You got some brigands. You got a depressed elf. You got the Plumax kobolds. So kobolds are always fun. This adventure is really cool because you have the volcano before the lava. Where is it at? Oh, it's in here somewhere. Traps, exploring the lair. Oh, I jumped ahead. Oh, wait, I'm in the wrong one. That's another adventure. There's a 2-map version here. The City of Eternal Night. So you can just see how easy and quick this is. It's only like a couple pages per chapter. You got lots of loot, lots of characters to get into, and a couple dungeons to explore. And lots of cool boss monsters. You get the Emperor of Worms. You get to travel in a worm and come out the end of the dungeon. So that is very cool. You get to meet these cool dung-eating flies and dung beetles and all the little creatures or little bugs that live in this guy's intestine. So that is super cool. The gizzard, some crazy spiders. The red growth, so you get kind of like you get to go among this mushroom-infested, fungus-infested area. So that's always, so you can see how many different biomes and different kind of, it's not just a standard kind of fantasy kind of going here or there and everything is kind of the same. Like each one is like this very interesting biome. So you can be excited to kind of see what's going to happen in the next chapter. So this is the one I was talking about earlier, the Fiery Caldera. So this is the one that has actually 2 cool maps. So you got the Overflowed map, and then you have when the lava subsides. So that's really cool. So not only do you have all these characters, but you have this, the whole dungeon is basically a giant kind of a trap, kind of a encounter that can happen. You have these cool trolls. You got lava tubes, some turtles, naked butt there, 2-headed troll, the errant tower. So you get to go to this wizard's tower. And you have all these cool rooms to go to. Lots of cool, I was looking at Rufus there. Lots of cool little areas and things to grab. Lots of cool loot. You can just see how much fun this must have been just drawing all these weird characters and interesting locations. Then you even get to go to the sky in this. So, you know, not very often you get to also go to the sky. And you kind of have this hex crawl in the sky. I'm trying not to, other than the pictures, I haven't really explained too much. I don't want to spoil it, even for the GM to really go in and read this interesting area. And this is the end, the darkness below. So you got a lot of cool characters. And I like this, how the last character has lots of different phases of combat that can be very exciting. And then at the end, what will the heroes do next? So you can go on some other adventure. And he's got his thanks and where to continue. So go to JP Coovert on YouTube. Go check him out. There's a map on the background. There's also a couple things in the Kickstarter other than the book. I also got the cool patch because I was a supporter on day one. You can kind of see here all his other really cool adventures. He also has Starborg, which is really cool. It's a Star Wars inspired Mortborg system. So that's really cool. It's got 4 books in it, even a solo. And I hope that he ends up making that as a hardcover, just like he did with Dragontown. He also threw in a couple postcard maps. So you got the Lunar Tower. Yeah, the secret Sherwood Farmstead. So he's got the map on one side and like the adventure on the back. So those are always good to throw in your adventures here and there. And you could, like I say, it is system neutral, so you could throw these in anywhere. The sleepy village of Barrowmere. I almost said Boromir. The forbidden gemstone mine. That's really cool. The hidden Netherhold vault. I love his maps. They're just so cool. And like he says on his channel, like drawing this stuff is, you know, if you can draw a square to rectangle and some lines, you can do this. I mean, it'll take a lot of practice, but it's nothing overly complicated technical wise, other than his composition is just awesome and on point. He makes it look easy, but he's always saying, you know, it's not super difficult. He does have a 5e monster encounter table to kind of make his monsters in there, and a little grid paper on the back, and for Nimble as well. But I'm not going to use those because I have better versions here. And what is that? What were those better versions again? Why, Grit Fantasy RPG. Go pick it up at Drive-Thru RPG right now. Yeah, look at that. They go perfect together, like peanut butter and jelly, or tonkatsu and miso, or ramen and gyoza, or yakisoba pan and Pocari Sweat. Okay, I'm just hungry now. So yeah, go pick up Dragontown. I think it's available for the rest of the people pretty soon. I think the pre-order shop is open. But yeah, go check out JP Coovert. Take a look at Dragontown. Be a Patreon. And yeah, I'll see you next time on Rocket Punch. Later.